Buenos días. Tengo el agrado de presentarles al doctor Mathias Kirchmer. Él es uno de los dos cofundadores del BPMDay. El doctor Kirchmer ha sido director gerente y líder global de BPM para Accenture. El doctor Kirchner también permanentemente está involucrado en la academia como miembro de la facultad afiliada a la Universidad de Pensilvania desde el año de 1998. Él ha escrito una serie de libros, una cantidad muy importante de libros sobre BPM. A continuación, la introducción del doctor Kirchmer.
Okay, great. It looks like the audience can hear me, but not yourself. I'm sorry for that. Es un placer para mí de presentar hoy a Process Day in Peru. Unfortunately, my Spanish is not yet good enough to do the presentation in Spanish, so I have to move to English. I will talk slowly and with my strong German accent, so I hope you understand. If there's a question, please let me know. Es un placer para mí de presentar a Process Day in Lima, in Peru. Unfortunately, my Spanish is not good enough to do the presentation in Spanish, so I have to switch to English. But if there are any questions, please feel free to stop me, and we can be very flexible. You know, as we have seen in the introduction, today everybody talks about digital technologies, about robotic process automation, about no-code platforms. But at the end, they only deliver value if they lead to new and enhanced processes. Only those new processes really have a performance impact in our organization. And that's why business process management is now more important than ever before, if it is defined and delivered the right way. And that's exactly what we are discussing today, the discipline of value-driven business process management and how it helps to execute a strategy in the digital world. I've structured that into 4 major parts, and I will adjust the length a bit so that I stay in your time frame. And we will first talk a bit more in general about the role of process management as a value switch in the digital world, then see how to focus on what matters most, how to improve smartly by digitizing also the process of process management itself, and then conclude by making a few comments about how to sustain results so that we keep on moving forward in the right direction. A study by the Gartner Group, one of the leading industry analysts, showed that only 13% of organizations meet their yearly strategic goals. And that is, of course, a shocking percentage. And that's also one of the reasons why more and more organizations look towards digital transformation to improve that. However, another study of the same analyst group shows that only 1% of organizations, 1%, have their processes enough under control so that they can really make that transformation happen and get the full potential out of such digital technologies. And that's the reason why more and more organizations now look towards business process management and are eager to establish such a BPM discipline. And what does that mean? That means to establish a management discipline that moves your strategy into people and technology-based execution and does that fast and at minimal risk. And that means to really manage the entire life cycle of our process from design to implementation to execution of the process, and then the controlling if we meet our goals. And to have such a process lifecycle management in place is absolutely key to get the desired business results from digital transformations. But how to do that? Well, if you put such a discipline in place, that is a management discipline like other management disciplines like human resources or finance. And that means you put it in place through the appropriate processes. And in our case, that is the process of process management. You interpret business process management as a process by itself. And we have done a lot of research. There's about 25 sub-processes that need to be established in one or the other form. And those sub-processes can be structured into 3 major groups. The process of process management needs to help to focus what matters most in your organization. There exists very solid research that a company only competes through about 15 to 20% of their processes. 15 to 20%. All the other 80+% are commodity processes that need to work and function in an industry average, but sophisticated improvement and optimization and innovation initiatives don't pay off in those areas. So process management helps to figure out where the high impact processes are, which of those are low maturity level, so that you can focus on high impact, low maturity processes. Then process management needs to help to improve. However, that has to change compared to very traditional methods. It's very key to bring in, on one hand, an end-to-end view on the process so that you don't fix one issue and create 3 others. But it's also key to identify what are the right improvement approaches. Do I leverage specific digital technologies like RPA, like no-code platforms? Or is it possible to achieve what I need just through some organizational changes, so more traditional methods? So BPM needs to figure that out. Look at the end-to-end process and then define exactly how to improve it. And last not least, the process of process management helps to sustain the results. That means to make sure that we keep the process on track and keep on moving forward. And let's now look at a couple of examples how those different areas of the process of process management work. And let's start with the focus. And in order to figure out where the 15–20% of processes are that are most important for the organization, a technique called process impact assessment has proven to be very helpful, and I also present that technique in the newest knowledge book. And it's a very simple concept that you basically link your processes to the value drivers, so the areas that you need to get right to make your strategy happen. And then you define for each process what is the impact on each value driver, calculate the total, and then you can compare the impact of the different processes and select the ones that are most important. Then you add a maturity assessment, and those processes that have a high impact and a low maturity level, that means where we are doing worse than the industry average or than the key competition. Those processes are the ones that deliver most value if you launch initiatives in that area, and those high impact, low maturity processes are the best targets for process improvement and transformation initiatives. So instead of trying to boil the ocean, you focus on what is most important, you target value. Once you have done that, of course, you need to understand those processes, and very classical techniques like BPMN, the business process modeling, and notation help here. And it has shown in the last years that you can create such models and do the interviews all in a remote setting. We have been working with big technology companies, big insurance companies, without any on-site meetings, all interviews remotely, and then you understand how your process works, and you can identify improvement opportunities. And in the case we see here on the screen, that's the underwriter process, or part of the underwriter process of an insurance company, where we can see there's a whole set of functions that can be completely automated. So a huge improvement opportunity regarding time and cost. There are other activities that are currently done that will not be necessary anymore. You don't need to update and shift around spreadsheets. So through such an analysis, where you look at your existing process and figure out how it will change and transform using new technologies and new solutions, gives you a very good idea what the improvement potential of your process is. And then, of course, you want to define how to move forward. How do we want to work in the future? And a good starting point, therefore, are reference models, and they need to be technology-based process reference models. That means common practices that show how specific technologies are used in the context of a specific process. In our example here, we have created with an insurance company such a process reference model that shows how the underwriter process would change if you use the no-code digital platform, in our example here, Uncork. And instead then of starting from scratch, we developed such templates in parallel to the as-is analysis with the technology vendor, and use that as a starting point for the definition of our to-be process, so that we can then show for each profit center how the work will change if you use that specific technology. So that you are then in a situation, you have your as-is process, you understand where the improvement opportunities are. You have your to-be process that reflects how you are achieving those improvement opportunities, how, for example, you use new technologies, how you change the flow and the organization of your process. And then you can go a step further to really see how you drive value out of that process. And you can do that through simple simulations. In that insurance example, we used the process modeling and repository tool Signavio to simulate as-is and to-be processes. And it was amazing what we could show. We could prove that through this new technology, we can reduce administrative effort by over 80%, which leads to a cost reduction by 49%. And to a scalability effect of a factor 9. So we can handle 9 times more cases with the same number of people. And to do that efficiently, we did not do sophisticated time studies, but got the attributes that are needed for this simulation, either through the technology vendor for the to-be process, or through interviews as a side effect of our as-is analysis, so that you are then in a situation, you understand where improvement opportunities are, you understand how to realize them in the future, and you understand the business impacts, the value they deliver through that simulation exercise. And then you can use those to-be processes as basis for the configuration of your software and the organization of your people change management, so that everything is aligned, people, technology are aligned for our future business and working processes. Of course, how to do that would be a topic by itself. I'm glad to follow up on that later. Once you have your new processes in place, of course, you want to keep them on track. And in order to do that, it is important to bring at least a simple process and best process and data governance organization into place. And that sounds so complicated, but in practice, it's just about defining a few key roles, like here your process owner, supported by process stewards, process sponsor to set the direction, and you normally have your BPM organization, your COE, to support those roles. And the mechanics are defined again in business processes, in process management and governance processes. And that exercise to really come up with a good process and data governance, that is something that is often missed in initiatives. And I cannot stress enough how important that is, and really recommend to address that and make that happen. Even if it's in steps, process by process, no problem, but don't forget about it. And that governance works best if you provide them, of course, the right infrastructure, the right tool infrastructure. And there is a very, very strong trend to really complete lifecycle support of your business process, so that you have your structural information in your process repository that shows how would we work, sets the guidelines. That's especially important if you move towards remote working processes, so that people know what they're expected to do, that you see how the technology supports your process. So you define your process structure, and that is then reflected in your execution technology. And that execution technology should, of course, help to meet the goals that we have defined before in our business case. And to control that, that was something and is something that many organizations struggle with. And that is an area that can be more and more addressed through new techniques, especially around process mining, where you read the system logs of your different automation components, and then you get a clear idea: do I really follow the steps, or are there lots of workarounds that need to be addressed? Do we really meet our performance goals? And I know that is a very, very hot topic, but it's not that new of a topic. I introduced the first mining system into the North American market already 20 years ago. And I have to say it was a complete failure because processes big parts of processes were executed manually, and then these mining systems don't provide enough good information. Now in our digital world, that has changed, and you really get good information out of those. So I can really recommend to check that out and try it, and then you really have a complete support of your process lifecycle through appropriate methods and tools, and that will reduce your time to value and makes process management a part of your digital world. So basically you digitize and digitalize your process management itself. Very interesting topic. I could talk about that for a long time, but since we lost time at the beginning, I'm already a bit over my time frame. So in summary, it's important that you spend the right time and effort to focus on what matters most, your high impact, low maturity processes, leveraging here a process impact assessment, and there exist also nice software tools to do that very efficiently. Then find a way to have an efficient and value-driven design of your processes, leveraging process repositories, leveraging the process and technology-based process reference models I mentioned. Be pragmatic in evaluating them, but don't skip that step. Find a pragmatic way to do some simple simulations, some simple assessment of the process value of your to-be situation, so that you have a solid business case to work towards. And then once you go into the real life environment, make sure that you sustain the benefits that you have achieved through the appropriate process and data governance, but also through the tool infrastructure that we just discussed. And the good news is all of that can be delivered remotely through the internet. We have started doing that almost 4 years ago, and I must say, looking back, that was the right and a good decision. Of course, now it comes in even more helpful, but I also am convinced that in the future, BPM needs to have ways to deliver much of the BPM services in such a remote environment. And with that, I'm at the end of my presentation. I know a lot of topics in a short time, so I just wanted to give you a teaser and some ideas where current thinking in academia goes and how that is applied in practice. I've a lot of publications in this area. You can all download them, or most of them download them for free on our webpage, www.bpm-d.com, or drop me an email. I'm glad to set up a meeting and we can discuss, or I hope we have now still a couple of minutes for some questions. Thank you very much. Okay, if that is not the case, then thank you very much. I hope I could provide a bit of food for thought, and yeah, have a successful BPM Day event. And I hope when things are a bit more to normal, that we can also meet and discuss in person. Thank you very much.
Hi, Mathias. I believe, okay, the operator is now here. I'm from Brazil. Thanks for sharing with us your presentation. It's great. It's very, very interesting, this the point of view. I believe that's amazing. Great job. Well done.
Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that feedback, and glad to see that we have even people from Brazil dialing in. I've been many times there, and have very, very good memories there. And I know that process management is very well developed in Brazil. So I hope I could give you a bit input what to do in future.
Okay, that's right. But I'm from Brazil, but my last name is from Germany. Group.
Yeah, that's right. Which, as I've learned,
my grandfather. My grandfather is from
great.
Germany. Yes. But I don't spreche Deutsch.
There I have a nice little story. When I was the first time in Brazil, I came from Germany and spent a lot of work to translate all my presentations into English. And then we went to a manufacturer of small compressors somewhere in the countryside, and it was in a development where lots of Germans were. And when I started the presentation in English, the chief executive said, "Well, can you not do it in German? That would be easier to understand."
Please send to Germany. Yes, and in south of Brazil is very most people are from Germany. Many people. Great job. Thank you so much about your share in the presentation.
Much. And if there's anything else you need, if I should send you some papers or the PDF of the presentation, just drop me an email.
Okay.
No problem at all.
That's right. I will send your email. Great.
Perfect. Then thank you very much.
Dr. Kirchner, will you stop sharing your screen for a moment, please?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was already over because we started late.
No, Dr. Kirchner, we have one very important question. Could you tell us the most important case of success in which you have applied this moving strategy into people and technology, please?
Yeah, I can even give you two examples of two industries, and I could give you many more. One in an insurance company. The situation was the CIO had the CTO had the task to really improve the performance of the underwriter process significantly. So reduce cost, reduce cycle time, and also improve the scalability. He therefore decided to go with a new underwriter platform and bought such a no-code platform, as I mentioned in the presentation, Uncork. But once he had bought it, he decided to try it out. He ran into big problems. First, business operations didn't believe in the business case. They said, "Oh, it's not realistic to have such a big impact," so they didn't approve the budget. Second, he tried to do a pilot to prove that it is realistic, but every day, every week, somebody came in with different requirements, and it was a moving target, so it did not really work out. And then we came in with this process-led approach that I have described, and in 6 weeks, we had the as-is processes captured so that we all talk about the same thing. We had identified the improvement opportunities agreed upon by business and IT. We had done the simulations of the as-is and the to-be processes using reference models that we had developed also in that time frame, so that after 6 weeks we could show that we expect 80% of a reduction of administrative efforts, almost 50% of cost reduction, and a scalability increase by a factor 9. And they were still a bit skeptical, but they tried it out in the first profit center. And after about half a year, that went live, and they saw that it really did the results, and on a cost level even better than we had predicted. And that led then to the situation that over 2 years, we basically applied that same approach to all their profit centers. I think 10 or 12, so smaller and larger ones. So a very big success of this. And a similar case in a big global technology company in their here in their supply chain area, where we basically help them to prepare for an integrated supply chain, leveraging a whole set of different technologies, and again analysis, technology-based process reference model, and put that in place. And in less than 2 months, we had identified potential savings of over $50 million, significant cycle time reductions. So that's value-driven approach works in different processes in different industries. And we have in parallel in this technology company, we have also helped them build up that capability and set up such a value-driven process management organization. And they have kept on working in that way now for over a year, again with very good success in their procure-to-pay process, in the whole set of order-to cash sub processes. So again, worked extremely well. So there are really many examples where this new BPM discipline that leverages those digital tools really works well.
Thank you very much.
Just on our webpage, we have also, I think, 12 or 14 case studies described. So if you would like to see other industries, like from the health industry or from consumer goods industry, just check out the case studies on the webpage, then you get more information. And if you have follow-up questions, please just send me an email. No problem.
Perfect. We'll check it out. Thank you so much. It's been very kind from you. Thank you again.
Muchas gracias. Estaba un placer.
Goodbye.
Ciao.